Welcome back to the Pig Trail Show and our Arkansas football recruiting report. We are joined by a very special guest, as always, our Otis Kirk, our Hogfield football insider, but also Arkansas commit James Joyner on the show with us as well. James, thank you for taking the time with us today.
Oh, yeah, thank you. No problem.
Now, before we get to you, James, you're already coming to the Hogs, a running back. But Otis, you have a couple of more people to fill us in on of who are coming to Fayetteville.
Yeah, two tight ends in the class of 2023. Shamar Easter from Ashdown, kid we talked about a few weeks ago on this show, being, all-state football, track, basketball. I mean, he's all everything, about 6'6", 215, 220. And then he committed Friday from Ashdown, a four-star. Another four-star last night, Jaden Ham from Eudora, Kansas, committed to Arkansas. I think Jaden's about 6'6", 225. I think they're both about the same size. They're both four-star recruits. And it shows you the great job that Dow Loggins and his staff is doing. I don't want to just credit Dow, but he came in late. The last assistants they've hired at Arkansas, he's already delivered. Cody Kennedy had laid the groundwork for Tyrus Washington. And then Dow took over when he got here. He landed Tyrus Washington, so that was kind of a joint deal. And then Dow's been able to pull in these two four-star kids that had offers from all over the country. And I mean, Easter is one of the best athletes in Arkansas, period. Not just tight end, but best athlete. As I said, he made All-State in track, stand out in basketball as well. And then Ham is another guy that can do a lot of things. These are two guys that when you think of the Mackey Award in 2010 with DJ Williams, you think of the Mackey Award in 2015 with Hunter Henry. These are two guys that are very capable. And you can't forget kids like Aaron Outley from James's Schools, who's here. Dax Courtney and Tyrus Washington are committed to sign in 2022. These kids are in 2023. So you've got four tight ends. You've got Hudson Henry going to be coming back next year. You've got Aaron Outley's there, and then you've got two coming in from the class of 2022, and then two from 2023. So tight end has a shortage right now. That's why they moved Dominic Johnson there, but there's not going to be a shortage much longer. And it's going to be like that running back room with Mr. Joyner now.
Yeah, James, how does it? In a little bit off camera, we were talking about how you've kind of played a little bit of the role of a recruiter for Arkansas after commitment. When you hear about all these new guys coming in, these four stars, it seems like Arkansas football recruiting is just going in an upward trend. For you to be in that kind of pool of players that are really elevating this program, how do you react to that?
Man, it's a blessing, but it makes me happy knowing that, I'm part of the reason why Arkansas football recruiting is going in the right direction. So,
and what is it about Sam Pittman? I feel like a lot of people say it's just his genuine nature. What he tells you is exactly what he means. What about Sam Pittman made you want to come to Arkansas, or was there another reason as well?
Yeah, so Coach Pittman definitely had a lot to do with it. He just, he kind of reminded me of my papa a little bit. So, he be straight up with you. I had a lot of respect for him, when he first came in. Like, he immediately wanted to know who the top in-state guys was. And, he know that Arkansas, last time Arkansas was good, they had to start with getting the guys in their own backyard. So I have a lot of respect for him, trying to take care of Arkansas. So.
And, I watched a video today again of your commitment and how you hid it from your mom. How did you do that for so long? Because when you put on the Arkansas hat, she left the table. She was super emotional. She did not expect that to happen. Take us through that story of how you hid your commitment from your mom.
Okay, because so she knew that I was actually gonna commit on her birthday, which is actually coming up on the 31st. So I was actually gonna hold my commitment all the way out until her birthday, take her to a restaurant and surprise her. But, the coaches asked me, could I just announce it publicly to help, help get the other in-state guys, which you did help. If I came out, a lot of other in-state guys jumped in the boat. So hiding it from her is pretty hard. I think one Saturday, the day I committed, I woke up and told her I had to go do a couple of interviews for some people, dress nice. And And then I told her a couple minutes, you know, she seen my family members and guys like Otis coming in to the facility that I committed at. And she's like, what's going to happen? I told her, I said, I'm getting ready to commit to Utah. You know, I had on all black, so it's kind of pretty big for, you know, with me being her baby boy. She wasn't too excited when she heard I was going to Utah until it was our. So.
She got excited then, and I think everybody else did too.
Was there any doubt in your mind you were going to stay home and represent your state?
Nah. Can you repeat that again?
I said, was there any doubt that you were going to stay home and commit to Arkansas, represent your state?
I mean, once I got the offer in 9th grade, it really hit me like I could really, I talked to Jarius Wright and Derek McFadden and all those guys. So it kind of, it's kind of hard for me not to, stay home. So if that answers your question, I mean.
Oh, yeah. And Otis, it's always hard for someone to talk about themselves and give themselves praises. But you've spoken a lot on James. What about James has made him, and you followed his journey for a long time, a great fit for Arkansas?
Well, I think I was talking to Coach Boulding one day. I was over there and I was talking to Coach Boulding. And I said, a lot of people feel like James Joyner could be a great safety. And he said he could be. But he said, I feel like he's an elite running back. And I said, well, I do too. And so, he doesn't think, Coach Boulding doesn't think James is a good running back. He thinks he's an elite one. And I mean, I do too. I mean, there's been some great running backs from Little Rock, and I think James will be the next one of them. But I will say this: you're talking about if he'd ever. I saw James when he got offered the first time, right after they offered him. Then when he got re-offered, he came out with another big smile on his face, and I saw him then too. And it meant a lot to him to get that Arkansas offer. I mean, I know he had a lot. I think 30 offers at least. I know at least 30 offers he's got. So he could have gone basically anywhere James wanted to go. But I think the biggest thing with him has just been his unselfish attitude. I mean, the fact that James committed, but as soon as he committed, he started working on Quincy McAdoo to get him from Florida State to Arkansas. He started working on other kids. He started working on Nico. I think he worked on Nico the day I was over at Little Rock because Nico was there to watch he and Andrew Chamley commit. And Nico was there, and James started working on it instantly. And so he immediately. And so I just think his attitude, putting, it's not just look at me. He takes the whole picture. I just think he's going to be a great running back for the University of Arkansas and do great things. And the biggest thing, even more than that, I think he can be like a person who, even after his career is finished, everybody's going to look up to because of what he did, not just carrying the football and doing that, but just the way he carried himself and some of the things and the way he acted and got recruits on board and stuff. I think that really wins the fans over.
It's important to have an ambassador in state. James, what do you tell these other kids that are looking at Arkansas when you tell them, hey, maybe you should consider the Hogs a little more? What are you telling them?
It kind of goes back to what Mr. Kirk was just saying, and me knowing Derek McFadden, Jarius Wright, and Joe Adams, and a lot of Arkansas alumni that played.
Right.
Tell them like what they tell me is, Arkansas forever home. Once you a Razorback, you are, once a Razorback, always a Razorback. So like, just tell them that like if you go out of state, I mean, Arkansas love. Home. The home love not gonna be the same if you leave home. And just tell them, trust in Coach Pittman. And I just believe, honestly, I believe that if we all just stay home, the sky's the limit for the Razorbacks in the upcoming years.
And James, I always like to ask this. Otis brought up that you could have been a safety. You're elite running back. How would you describe yourself and your play on the field?
You said you kind of went out on me with the.
Oh, I'll repeat it. I just said, how would you? Otis said that you were an elite running back talent. They wanted you even to play safety. how would you describe your play on the field?
I would kind of say I'm kind of laid back type of guy. Very tough guy. But going back to safety, man, it took a lot out of me to let defense go. I think after I got hurt my sophomore year, I wanted to just focus on running back. I talked to Coach Bowden about playing defense here and there. I mean, if they need me, I will do it. But running back is where I'm going to college, so I guess I need to just lock in. But as far as my play, I'm pretty laid back, try to be a good team player. I mean,
Well, you've talked about Darren McFadden. You got to remember, Darren McFadden was an All-American running back at Arkansas, but Darren McFadden could have been a safety, could have been a linebacker, could have been a quarterback, could have been a receiver. So that's what you get most of the time when you get a great football player, an outstanding athlete. They can play other positions, but they have one position they're elite at. And James is elite at running back, and that's what he will play. But like McFadden and all the others that came here, he could play. He always knew he could play other positions. Darren could played so many positions, it's not even counting. He did a lot of it over there at a smaller school.
Now, Otis, do you have any questions to James before we wrap up?
Well, I think you asked the one that talking about what he was telling the other recruits, because I was wanting to ask him that, and you got that. I just wanted to hear that because it's interesting, because I have recruits tell me that James talked to them at James or Dax Courtney or JJ Hollingworth, and Caden Henley. I mean, it's not just these kids are committed to Arkansas, but they're also selling the program. And I think it's not just out here selling myself, hey, I'm a Razorback. They're out here selling the program. And I think that's very impressive from James and all of them. So, no, I think he did a great job. And I appreciate him being on here.
Yeah, James, thank you so much for joining us in this week's Arkansas Football Recruiting Report, and congratulations on the commitment. I know everyone's excited to see you in a Razorback uniform. Obviously, those two that Otis mentioned as well. Guys, thank you so much. We'll be right back with more Pig Trail Show.
Thank you, James. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Yes, sir.